Captain's Log, Day 1. The topic for today, the topic I'm going to fill this time with, is going to be the idea of a Kotor, aka Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars live-action film. Now, I think if there's one film that but more serious Star Wars fans want, or a franchise, or an era to be explored and fleshed out, at least in cinematic form, would be this right here. The KOTOR series, the story of Darth Revan, Darth Malak, Bastila, all these young lads right here, and ladies. This is a topic I have a lot with my friends when we talk about Star Wars, as us nerds do. I think usually the consensus is that, yeah, of course we want a Old Republic film about Revan, about Malak, because of course we've all played the game, and I think this game, Knights of the Old Republic, is probably my favorite. Well, I have to do a video sometime over what my favorite Star Wars stories are, but this has to rank, I think, in the top 5 of Star Wars stories that are told in this world, this galaxy, this IP. That being said, even though everyone else seems to want a KOTOR story, a KOTOR movie, I think I might be in the minority. Well, I know I am from my peers, that I don't think I'm so sure that I want one. Of course I want to see this adaptation. It's just, do I want to see it? Well, you have to think to yourself, A, do you want it to be seen, or do you want to see it through the eyes of what Star Wars currently is now, under Disney? And are you okay with it being different from the game? Because if I was to make, well, my guess would be, if they did a KOTOR film, would be that they would change something about the character of Revan. And I don't know what that would be. What am I trying to say? I think when people tell me they want to see a KOTOR film, I think to myself, do they want to see just a adaptation of the game? Or do they want to experience the KOTOR story again? And what I mean by that is, so much of this story in this game is the mystery of who Darth Revan is. Where he comes from, what's his goals, and what is he currently up to. Of course, the game starts out with him being dead. But if you don't have that, if you just go to Disney and say, all right, we're making, greenlight a KOTOR film, take the story from the game, write the script, shoot the scenes, film the movie, put it out into the public. To me, that sounds uninteresting. I mean, it'd be cool to see this stuff, but my favorite part of the story is the mystery and it's just that. It's the mystery of who this person is. And if you don't have that, because everyone who's played this game, and granted, the normies out there haven't played KOTOR because it's an old game, and even if you are into playing games, the controls of this game are pretty archaic. You have to be able to stomach them in order to get through it. But if you can get through it, and you're a Star Wars fan, and you are okay with playing a Star Wars video game, which, why wouldn't you be, I guess? But this is worth your trying. I think they would. The reason I said they would have to change something with this character is they would have to somehow, or I would hope they would somehow figure out a way to bring the mystery back. Because if they start up the movie and you're up with a close-up shot on the guy in the bed, if you played the game, you're going to know who that is, and you're going to know basically the plot of the movie. So I would hope they would find some way to make you second guess yourself if you know the story to be, well, now who is this guy? Like, it's supposed to be this person, but now it doesn't seem that way. So I think that is probably the most critical thing you would have to do and preserve for a KOTOR movie if you're going to make one. Now, that's just me. Some people just want to see a live-action version of the story. That's fine. To me, if I want to watch a KOTOR film, I want to experience what I experienced when I went through the story and I found out who this person was and how he related to all these other characters. Another topic of conversation that comes up a lot is whether we want this to be a film, a feature film, a series of feature films like a trilogy, or a TV series, since now Disney is getting into the ball game of streamed shows for Star Wars. We will talk about how if this ever happened, which I have my thoughts on whether it would ever happen or not. If this ever happened, if it would be a movie or a TV show. Now, the businessman side of me, I'm gonna stop waving my cursor around in front of Bastil's face here. The business side of me says, well, feature films just make way more money usually than TV shows do. Sometimes TV shows can make more, but usually a studio is going to want to make a feature film, and if they can, a franchise of multiple feature films. But if you played this game, this story seems accident prone to have a rushed plot if it was converted into a feature film, because there's so much. It's a video game. It's not a movie, so they're able to cram so many more side quests and subplots into the game that a feature film just wouldn't have time for. And not to mention that even the main story of the game takes you across multiple planets, and you spend significant time on those planets. So that kind of rolls back into whether or not you want this to happen or not. Now we're just kind of talking about whether or not you want this to be a film or a TV show. I think it would be best for it to be a TV show, because then you can really draw out the mystery of who Revan is. You can really draw out the terrorist arc when you start the game. I think that's my favorite part of the KOTOR game, is just living out a Star Wars normie life on Terrace. Just doing random things such as being a bounty hunter, being a gambler, and this and that. So I think I would want to see them capture the not the anxiety, but just the anxiousness to get off Terrace by having maybe a whole season take place for all of the whole Terrace arc, where you rescue Bastila from the swoop gang, and you spend a lot of time with Karth, because Karth's kind of your brother in that game. So I think I would want it to be a TV show, because that way they could really build these relationships and really draw out the mystery of who Darth Revan is, and the payoff, I think, would be stronger. Even though, I mean, that's not to say that Darth Vader's reveal in 2 movies didn't have a lot of payoff. It's just, since we're kind of expecting this reveal of Darth Revan, I think I'd want it to take longer, rather than have it probably. I mean, they could do it in 3 films, but they probably try to cram it all into 1 film. I don't know. Maybe that's crazy. I think maybe they would have to do it in 3 films if they wanted to do it in a feature film length. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on whether or not a Kotor Knights of the Old Republic movie is likely, whether I want it or not, and what form I think it would take. Yeah.